Hey there, Warhawks. I'm just broadcasting to you from my shed, from my fort that I've built. And so I want you to know that I'm practicing social distancing, trying to stay away from too many people. I wanted you to know also, though, that seriously, as each day goes by, I think about you guys as the kind of the class periods, as each time we would be in a different class, I think about you and I want you to know that um, you are cared for, and I miss you guys. I hope you guys are taking advantage of this opportunity you've got to enjoy yourself and to do some good things. I hope you're practicing social distancing. You don't have to be holed up in a fort somewhere out in the woods, but you know I hope you are practicing a good um, hygiene practices and just avoiding other people. I know that's hard. You want to be with people, but we can't always do that. Um, but the other thing I wanted to, I'm a history teacher, and I couldn't really um, talk to you and share this with you without kind of bringing a little bit of history into it. One of the lessons of history is, and one of the things that I like about history, and it's people hear it a lot. You say, well, why do we study history? And you say, well, so that we can learn from it. Well, we can learn from it, but we learn historical lessons. We learn how to handle things in the present, which we're doing, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we also learn that there's been great difficulty throughout all of human history. So what we're facing today is unique and new to nearly everybody that's alive today. If we know our history, we know that difficult times are not unique. We face difficulties throughout. Mankind has faced difficulties throughout all of human history, and there's been no time where there weren't difficulties. And so, what does that teach us? Well, it teaches us that what we're facing has these kinds of things have been faced before. Now, it hasn't, I've never lived through a time when there was a pandemic and schools canceled for 3 weeks in my life. When I first started teaching, was the first year I was teaching was 9/11, and that was a great tragedy and a difficult time. But it was very different also. We came together during that time, and actually, people were encouraged to be together. We didn't cancel school, but we got through those times by handling that situation the best way we could at that time. Um, Today, we're doing the same thing. We can't come together literally. We have to practice. We have to practice wisdom and be wise in how we interact with each other um, because this we're dealing with a pandemic instead of dealing with attacks from terrorists. And so we learn from history and we learn how to handle different situations. We learn that we can get through these times and we can face them. That doesn't mean there's not difficulty. That doesn't mean there's not suffering. That's what it is, and that's what does happen during these times. But we can make it, and we will come through this. Things may change. The way things work um, sometimes change, and change can be scary and difficult. And then when you're more isolated, that makes it more difficult. So reach out to people. Don't stay isolated. Now keep social distancing and do those things, but reach out to people. We've got a lot of technology that we didn't have in the past. And so stay connected with people, stay connected with the people that you care about and love and do those things. And then finally, the way we're handling this situation is an example of learning from history as well. We didn't always know, it's of course learning from science as well. We now know so much more about disease and how it's spread and how to avoid spreading it than we did 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. Um, and so in prior pandemics, we wouldn't have handled it the same way necessarily or as well. And so we're working to handle that. Learning from the past, learning from mistakes of the past, and learning from the good examples of the past as well. There are plenty of examples of different times where people did choose to isolate and stop the spread more quickly. And so, just want to encourage you all to stay connected with each other, stay connected with those that you love, and keep in touch. If you need anything, let me know.